Last year, the race here in Wicklow was a real knockout and one that will stick in everyone's memories. It's great to be back here this year for another round of it. And I thought I'd start this weekend by catching up with last year's race winners, and that was Tracy Moseley and Greg Callahan. Greg managed to pull off one of the most memorable wins we've ever seen. The scenes were absolutely wild. And then Tracy, she also won last year, but she entered into semi-retirement after winning the title at the end of the season. She hasn't been at the first two rounds, but we do see her back in action here for a bit of fun, and it'll be interesting to see how a lady who has won 14 races, more than any other competitor, will get on when we see her back here. Thanks for inviting us round for some scones and a cup of tea.
No worries.
Nice Irish country house you're living in.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
But after 3 years dedicated to this series, we saw you retire at the end of last year. Back now for this race, but what have you been doing in between, and what's life been filled with?
It's been filled, that's for sure. I had quite a big break over the winter, which was nice. I think I was ready, my body was ready after 3 years of pummeling it to have a winter without all that training. So been doing a lot more local enduros, did Andes Pacifico, so had a kind of fun adventure race, and that kind of kick-started me back into riding. Yeah, it's nice not to have that pressure and that expectation of always having to put that training first and sacrifice a lot of other normal stuff and
have that extra scum.
Have definitely that extra stun.
But I did hear you saying that you don't go to a race just for the fun of it completely, that there is that drive there still.
For sure, I don't think I'll ever lose that competitive spirit, and I'd love to give the girls a good race and just see where I end up and hopefully enjoy it. That's the whole idea of this year, was to be able to be at races and have some more fun and take it a little bit less seriously.
Sounds good. And in terms of the series and the other girls, have you kept an eye on what's happening this season so far?
Yeah, a little bit. I deliberately didn't watch any of the footage from the first two rounds, just because I knew that I didn't want to be sitting there wishing I was there, make it harder on myself. You know, it is something that I've done for so many years in my life, and to suddenly not be part of that, you know, it is quite hard. I haven't watched it, but I certainly was straight on to try and find out the results and see who was doing well. And yeah, great to see Casey, new teammate for me, get that, you know, first podium, her first ever EWS in Argentina. So that was cool, just, you know, mixing it up, seeing some more new names, and Isabeau really kind of finding herself, like, you know, on that consistency where she was starting to get at the end of last year. And Cecile showing that she's, you know, finally getting that top step now, and I think she's probably quite settled there, and be interesting to see if she can dominate for the whole year, or whether the rest of the girls can kind of.
I think she's got a good challenge from Annika as well.
Yeah, I think it's a good mix, and there's probably now 4 or 5 girls that are all battling for those podium spots.
Yeah. And in terms of what we've got in store this weekend, it's Ireland, it's the closest of the series to your home. What do you think are going to be the key challenges? It's
a small hill, but it's really tough. Last year, I remember it being, you know, a long day, 7 stages, a lot, keep that concentration high for a whole day. Yeah, I think it's going to be great, short, intense racing.
Thank you very much, and
no worries.
Look forward to seeing you ripping it up on the hill.
Cool, thanks.
Cheers. Last year, one of the most incredible races we've ever seen at the Enduro World Series, and you won it, and I think that was a massive part of it. That must have been an incredible feeling for you.
Yeah, it was. On the day it was unbelievable, and it still kind of is. Crazy just looking back in the pictures and everything, just it's so hard to believe that happened and how crazy it was, because I was so kind of out of the moment at the time, just so focused on the racing and all that. Properly hit me when probably when I got injured in Austria, because I'd been riding the momentum all the way to that, and then that just kind of, it gave me the chance to stop and reflect.
And bringing it up to date now, this season so far, we've had 2 rounds. Maybe not the results you've been looking for, 2 20th places. Can you run us through what's been happening?
Chile was a hard week. My mindset just wasn't really where it should have been. I think I was too confident, to be honest.
Was that after such a strong off-season training? Or?
Yeah, I felt good over winter, and I kind of convinced myself that I could be up there, and I think that I just got a little bit complacent that way.
And then Bariloche, we saw that amazing crash, man. That was like one of the wildest crashes I've ever seen. It's like something out of Mad Max.
Yeah, thankfully that was more spectacular than painful. It was all right, but yeah, I felt really good in Argentina actually. Like in practice, I felt amazing. I was really liking the tracks, and then just small errors, just kind of riding that edge and just going a little bit above it. And I had a few crashes. That was my second crash at that stage actually. It was throwing away time when you can't do that. The times are way too tight to be letting any of it go.
Coming back to race in your home country, that's got to be a good feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing. Like the support I've seen already, even though it hasn't started, is crazy. Like anyone I see, like we went for dinner last night and the chef gave me a free dinner. And we looked for Sunday, and he'd never been there before.
Yeah. And so come Sunday, that kind of like long day, 7 stages, that'll be up your street, eh?
Yeah, looking forward to it. Yeah, I know that kind of at this point you're used to those big days for these races, so it's just kind of going through the motions and going through your race routine on the day, really. I think we're going to have a bigger year of spectators this year.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people didn't realise it was on last year, whatever reason, and there's going to be more people. If the sun's out, they're going to be just as crazy.
Brilliant. Well, I hope to see a repeat of last year, dare I say it. But, Me too. Thank you very much, man. Cheers.
Cheers, thank you.